Hello, welcome back. All right, we're back for our last half hour of today's, I hope, interesting edition of Richar Vaughan Live. Today's the first working day of July. I think today is July 2nd. Yesterday was July 1st. It was a Sunday, and we had a very successful Canada Day in Ancora. Kyle Miller brought at least 200 people, maybe 250 people, attended Canada Day yesterday. It was packed. The place was packed. The place was crowded with people, including the Canadian ambassador and his wife. A very nice gesture on the part of the Canadian embassy for the ambassador and his wife to come and to spend about an hour or two together with Kyle Miller and all the rest of the people. Juan Sola was there. Everybody was there. Fitz was there. Alberto Alonso could not make it because he's still convalescing. He's still in rehabilitation because of his broken leg. But all the rest were there. I spent about 2 hours there. Had a good time. Andrea was there. Everybody was there. Okay, so today is the 2nd of July, and we're starting a full month. Let's continue with mastering the interrogative. Mastering the interrogative. I lost my love yesterday. Question, when did you lose your love? I lost my love yesterday. No, you didn't. What do you mean? Well, I saw her yesterday. You saw her? Yeah. You think you lost your love. Well, I saw her yesterday. And you know what? You know what? What? It's you she's thinking of, and she told me what to say. Really? Well, what did she tell you to say? She says she loves you. And you know that can't be bad. Yes, she loves you, and you know you should be glad. Yeah. And we were talking for a while. And she said that you hurt her. You hurt her so much that she almost lost her mind. But now she says she knows that you're not the hurting kind. Okay, these words are from the Beatles. The Beatles, probably the song, I don't know, you would say, what song by the Beatles is considered the greatest song of the 300 or 400 that they published? There are quite a few songs that you can include. Love Me Do, Love Me Do, or I Want to Hold Your Hand. Oh yeah, I say that something, ba-da-da-da. That's how I want to hold. I want, quiero cogerte la mano. I want to hold your hand. Then we have Hey Jude. And that's, Hey Jude was a very popular song. Another was Let It Be. When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me. It's a very famous song by the Beatles. Another is the song of It's Been a Hard Day's Night. It's been a hard day's night, and I've been working like a dog. Yeah. And then there's another song, Help. Help, I need somebody, help. Not just anybody. And then there's another great song called Magical Mystery Tour. On a magical mystery tour. Oh, there are many, many more songs by the Beatles. Drive My Car, etc. I once had a girl, or should I say she once had me. That song is called Norwegian Wood. Baby, you can drive my car. Yes, I'm gonna be a star. Baby, you can drive my car. And baby, I love you. It's called Drive My Car. Another very popular song, of course, was Eleanor Rigby. Beautiful song about loneliness. Oh, I'm looking over lonely people. And then, of course, Yellow Submarine. We all live in a yellow submarine. But I would say probably number one, if you had to rank, to produce a ranking, usando el verbo directamente, rankear, decimos en inglés, to rank. If you had to rank all of the Beatles songs, I think I would put as the most indicative or the most popular or the one that was the longest on the charts at number one, it was probably She Loves You. She loves you, yeah, yeah, yeah. That was the early Beatles, typical early Beatles. You think you lost your love. ¿Crees que has perdido tu amor? Pues la vi ayer. Es en ti en quien está pensando. Y me dijo lo que que decirte. You think you've lost your love. Well, I saw her yesterday. It's you she's thinking of. And she told me what to say. She says she loves you. Fijaos, dos terceras personas del singular. She says she loves you. Memorize this sentence. Ella dice que te quiere. She says she loves you. Podríamos insertar that. She says that she loves you. But it's not necessary. She says she loves you. She says she loves you. And you know that can't be bad. Y ya sabes que eso no puede ser del todo malo, eh? To translate this sentence in a creative way into Spanish requires a bit of a change. Ya sabes, bueno, tan mal no está la cosa, eh? And you know that can't be bad. Yes, she loves you. And you know you should be glad. Ya sabes que deberías alegrarte. And you know you should be glad. She said you hurt her so. Dijo que tú le habías hecho tanto daño. She said you hurt her so. So se implica so much. El much, por la licencia poética, se deja fuera. She said you hurt her so. She almost lost her mind. Casi se volvió loca. She almost lost, to lose your mind. Pero tu mente literalmente es tu volverte loco. She almost lost her mind. But now she says she knows. Okay, now she said she knows. She says she knows. Dice que sabe. Now she says she knows. Third person singular twice again. You're not the hurting kind. You are not the hurting kind. That's an interesting sentence. No eres el tipo de chico que hace daño a las chicas. No eres de esa clase de chicos. You're not the hurting kind. She said you hurt her so. She almost lost her mind. But now she says she knows. You're not the hurting kind. She says she loves you, and you know that can't be bad. Yes, she loves you, and you know you should be glad, woo, etc. She loves you, yeah, 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 okay. And and then they go on. And the third verse, or the third stanza, is, you know it's up to you, I think it's only fair. Pride can hurt you too. Apologize to her. That's an interesting philosophy. This is good, even though this is the early Beatles. Even though, aunque se trate de los Beatles en sus inicios, con una letra un poco frívola. Esta estrofa tiene un mensaje. You know it's up to you. You know it's up to you. Ya sabes que ya ahora te toca a ti, ¿eh? Decidir, es tu decisión. You know it's up to you. I think it's only fair. Creo que se trata, es una cuestión de justicia, en mi opinión. Pride can hurt you too. El orgullo te puede hacer daño a ti también, no solo a ella. No te pongas orgulloso. Pídele perdón. Apologize to her. Because she loves you, and you know that can't be bad. Yes, she loves you, and you know you should be glad, etc., etc. With a love like that, you know you should be glad. With a love like that, you know you should be glad. With a love like that, you know you should be glad. Good group. These guys had power. That's what attracted the people to the Beatles, especially what was the name of I can't remember the name of their agent, who died in 1967. the Beatles' agent, Brian Epstein. Brian Epstein, or Brian Epstein, I think it's Epstein. He was a Liverpool record seller. He had a shop. In fact, his father had a shop. Brian Epstein grew up in Liverpool working in his father's record store or record shop. Tienda de discos. And of course, he was in contact with the local bands and the local groups who were playing. And he heard all the girls came in asking for records by the Beatles. And he said, "Who are the Beatles?" He said, "Don't you know the Beatles?" And he said, "No." Well, they're playing down in the cave, La Cueva. And so he went down and listened to them. And he noticed the power of their music. Well, the power. And he convinced them to be their manager. And he became their manager. And one of the first things he did was to fire the drummer and to hire Ringo Starr as the drummer. But this was agreed also with Paul McCartney and John Lennon. They agreed that, I can't remember the name of the previous drummer, he was not good enough for the power and the quality of the music that the Beatles were playing. The Beatles had been together. This is in 1962, before the Beatles before they became famous anywhere. This was in 1962, but the Beatles had been playing together since 1957. George Harrison, John Lennon, and Paul McCartney since late 1957. So really, they had 4 net years of practice together before Brian Epstein discovered them. And a year and a half of that was spent in the red light district of Hamburg, playing 5 hours a night, 6 hours, 30 hours a week, playing in a club in the red light district. The red light district is the expression in English for the area where prostitutes are usually available. It's called, I don't know if you say the same thing. El barrio del distrito de la luz roja. We say the red light district. Usually it's a seedy area. Seedy. Zona de barrio de mala muerte. Seedy. Seedy. Let's see what it says for seed. Seed means semilla. But seedy has no connection with the idea of semilla. Seedy. Let's see what they say for seedy. Sórdido, de mala fama, de mala muerte. Cutre. Y a la zona de mala fama, de mala muerte. La zona sórdida de la ciudad is off the red light district often coincides with the seediest areas. If you remember several years ago, behind Telefonica building, behind that building, the area of Ballesta Street, that area was seedy. They're cleaning up that area now. All of the area of what is between Gran Via and the Boulevardes, that area of Madrid is being renovated a bit. A lot of people are going in and buying buildings, remodeling the buildings, and selling or renting out the apartments. There's a certain quality. It's changing for the better. But the Beatles spent almost 2 years in Hamburg playing every night, 6 nights a week. And so they honed their skills. To hone, H-O-N-E, to hone. They honed their skills as pulir, perfeccionar, afilar. They honed. When they started, I remember watching an interview. Well, there was a documentary about this. And a person said when the Beatles first arrived in Hamburg and started playing, their music was pretty raunchy. Raunchy. I don't even know how to say raunchy. Let me see if I can find raunchy in the dictionary. Raunchy. Yes, slovenly. I don't know. Let's see, raunchy. Aquí dice obsceno, lúbrico, pornográfico. No. Not in American English. It was pretty The opposite of refined. The opposite of refined. Rudo, refinado, refined. And what's the opposite of refined? It's kind of raunchy. Refined. Let me see if I can find the antonyms of refined. Refinado, fino, poco refinado, poco fino. Okay, was the music. But the same person said that by the end of the year and a half, they were good. They were the best rock band in Hamburg. Clearly, by the time they finished. Of course, they spent all these years. There were 5 of them at that time. One of them died of brain tumor. But they were good. And then when they went back to Liverpool, they became very popular as well. But Brian Epstein discovered them and changed the drummer. And Ringo Starr was the fortunate candidate to be the drummer and became part of the Beatles. She Loves You. Yeah. Quite an interesting group, quite an interesting story. But people think, wow, these boys, an overnight success. Overnight success is un éxito de la noche a la mañana. Yes, the people who enjoy apparent overnight success have usually been working behind the scenes very hard for many years. Very hard for many years. Behind the scenes. Behind the scenes is the expression in English for entre bastidores. Nadie se entera. Y han estado haciendo sus deberes entre bastidores durante años para hacer un éxito de la noche a la mañana. De repente. No. It's true. They became from an overnight success, but it was after long, hard work. Success doesn't come easy. But if you enjoy life, it does. For me, it comes easy. My success came easy. I'm sure Amancio Ortega's success has come easy for him because he enjoyed it. He was an overnight success. Starting in around the year 2000, or maybe 1995, about 20 years ago, 25 years ago, suddenly everybody said, Amancio Ortega, who is this guy? He's in Forbes magazine in the United States as one of the richest men in the world. From Galicia. Who is he? Nobody knew who he was. Everybody was paying attention to Mario Conde or to all of the famous business people who appear in Actualidad Económica or in this and that in the business press. And then they don't realize. And suddenly, who is this guy? Well, Amancio Ortega became famous in Spain around the age of 60. I think he's about 83 now, 84. I don't know how old Amancio Ortega is. We can find out. Amancio Ortega, I think he's 84, but I'm not sure. Let's see. He was born in 1936. He's 82. He's 82 years old. About 22 years ago, he became famous when he was 60. And suddenly, everybody knew who he was, and before, who is this guy? They didn't know him. But since the age of 14, he was working. So from age 14 to age 60, we're talking of 46 years. He was building an empire over 46 years. And the first 23 years, from age 14 to age 37, he worked for others. Por cuenta ajena, as you say in Spanish. He worked for others, learning the business. Every nook and cranny of the business. Every nook and cranny means cada recoveco, cada esquinita. And so he was learning the business of textile, fashion, design, distribution, manufacturing, sales of clothing. Women's clothing more than men. And by the time he turned 37, when he turned 37, he decided to start his own company, Inditex, Tiendas Zara luego. And he needed another 23 years to become the fourth richest man in the world at that time. And suddenly everybody said, wow, who is he? And so they found out that this man was among the richest in the world, the number one wealth in Spain. And nobody knew who he was 5 years before or 2 years before. It was because behind the scenes, detrás de las escenas en inglés decimos, en plural, behind the scenes, pluralizamos escena aquí, siempre en la expresión. Behind the scenes, entre bastidores, he was doing his homework, working hard, forging an empire, forjando imperio, un imperio, forging an empire. And that's the story of many successful people. Right now, this business, Vaughan, has 9,000 square meters of space. Yeah, we have rented here, Barcelona, Valencia, Zaragoza, Bilbao, Vigo, Valencia, etc. We have 9,000 square meters of space. But the first 9 years of this company consisted of 2 square meters only in a corner of my bedroom. And so empires start from a molecule. Big empires, big and small. My empire is very small compared to Amancio Ortega's. But empires big and small start from a molecule. Then the only way to transform that molecule into an empire is hard work and sincerity, authenticity towards yourself and towards others. And you will suffer ups and downs. You will suffer disappointments. Many people will let you down. Some people will take advantage of you. Some people will successfully fool you. Some people will steal from you even. Many negative things will happen. But with the right attitude, the positive things will outweigh the negative things by a big margin over the long run. Over the long run, yes, the positives will outweigh. Se dice en inglés sobrepesarán. O sea, predominarán mucho más que los aspectos negativos. So don't allow negative things to affect you. Keep a positive attitude and keep moving forward. There will be a lot of frenazos y volantazos along the way. But if you want to become a good driver and a successful driver and an expert driver, you need to experience volantazos y frenazos. You need to experience moments of danger and to overcome them to become a good driver. And to become a good business person, to become successful in anything, you need to overcome. You need to know how to psychologically handle and overcome negative situations, bad things that happen. Bad things will happen to you always. The question is, how do you respond to those bad things? How do you react? Do you keep your cool or do you blow up? La ira reposa en el seno de los necios. Wrath resides in the bosom of fools. That's a saying from the Bible, from the Old Testament, Ecclesiastes, a book in the Bible, in the Old Testament. Wrath resides in the bosom of fools. Don't allow anger to take control of you. In fact, la ira is one of the 7 deadly sins, because when you get angry and lose control of your anger, then the situation controls you. You don't control the situation. And it's like being drunk. You don't have control of your thinking process. It takes control of you. But in any case, this is getting too philosophical, but it's time for me to say goodbye. I've got to finish. Fitz is taking over for me in just a few minutes, and so stick around. Enjoy July with Vaughan Radio, and as you're preparing your summer vacation. And think about taking advantage of this summer for your English as well. It's an easier moment to do something special about your English. And
este verano